Good day. Myself, Dr. Arvind Sharma, Associate Professor in Physics, Government Dover College, Bikaner. Welcome all of you. Today's my lecture topic is admissible wave function for MSc previous physics students. All students already studied admissible wave function in BSc third year. Admissible wave function means in UG classes you learn about it as a physically acceptable wave function, or you see a word सुव्यवहारित तरंग फलन, well defined wave function in your UG classes. That means that word सुव्यवहारित तरंग फलन भौतिक रूप से जो वेव फंक्शन माना जा सकता है physically acceptable. These all are different words for admissible wave function. That means a wave function that is admissible, that is physically admissible. You already studied the properties of admissible wave function in your UG class, but in your PG class, this is also important question. I show here many different kinds of approaches for this and explain this. So read all kinds of approaches. Again, I suggest you that when you read a different article of different approach, the things you already know is revised, and the other things which are new for you, you can include it and you can understand it. So let us start. What is admissible wave function? The very minimum that a wave function needs to satisfy to be physically acceptable is that it be square integrable. Integral modulus of psi x square dx be finite. Be finite, because you know that there are many conditions in which modulus of square of integration of modulus of square is needed. So it should be square integrable and its integration must be finite. This rules out functions like sin x, which has non-zero amplitude all the way into the infinity, and the functions 1 upon x and tangent x, which have non-integrable single values. Next, in the most rigorous case, however, one needs to impose additional conditions. What are these? The physically preparable states of a particle denote functions which are continuously differentiable to any order and which has finite expectation value of any power of position and momentum. Any power of position and momentum, and its expectation value should be finite. Let us see what is the conditions. What are the conditions? Psi must be continuous everywhere. Okay. All of psi's derivatives must exist. Derivatives of psi must exist, and they must be continuous everywhere. As you already studied and applied these conditions in one-dimensional problems. Okay. Psi should be continuous. That means psi 1 equal to psi 2. Derivative of psi must be exist. That means, and continuous everywhere. That means d psi 1 upon dx equal to d psi 2 upon dx. The expectation value of x raised to n and p raised to n. Expectation value of x raised to n and p raised to m must be finite for all n and m values, which is also stated here. Finite expectation value of power and momentum, position and momentum, position and momentum. X is position, P is momentum, it should be finite. This is a very important condition. This is new for you, so notate it seriously. This rule out discontinuous functions like theta x, functions with discontinuous derivatives, and functions like 1 plus x2 minus 1 upon half, which decay slowly, which decay too slowly. This is x square, 1 plus x square minus 1 upon half, which decay too slowly at infinity. States which satisfy these conditions are called physical because they are the states that can be prepared with finite energy in finite time. These conditions are called physical because they are the states that can be prepared with finite energy in finite time. Finite energy with finite time. Okay? In first article, these conditions are explained like that. In next article, what are the conditions must for a proper wave function satisfy? What conditions must a proper wave function satisfy? A proper wave function, which conditions satisfy? Okay? Max Born, you all know Max Born, based non-contribution to quantum mechanics, was his proposal that wave function, or rather its square modulus, should be interpreted as probability density for finding the system in a given state at a given time. However, he also proposed 4 conditions on the wave function. He proposed 4 conditions on the wave function, which are used in finding many solutions of the Schrodinger equation. So, the Schrodinger equation in one dimension, so we can see how Born conditions fit in it. Okay? Born conditions to be imposed on the wave functions. That means the interpretation of Bohr's wave function imposed some conditions on the wave functions. Number 1, the wave function must be single valued. This means that for any given value ON must have a unique value. Only unique or single value. This is a way of guaranteeing that there is only a single value for the probability of the system. Being in a state, you all are known that probability of the system being in a given state is single, only unique value. So actually if is a proper mathematical wave function, it will satisfy requirement automatically, since one condition all function must satisfy is that they are single valued. The most common example of a function that is not really a function encountered by most undergraduate math students is the inverse sine, which gives the angle corresponding to a particular value. Thus, any multiple of has a sine of 0. So, in principle, the inverse sine could give any multiple of as its value. And thus, it seems that this is a multi-valued function. However, in practice, only the range from 0 inclusive to exclusive is used in the proper inverse sine function. So you must know about this. Second one, the wave function must be square integrable. In other words, the integral of our all space must be finite. This is another way of saying that it must be possible to use a probability density, since any probability density must integrate our space to give a value of 1, which is clearly not possible if the integral of is infinite. One consequence of this proposal is that must tend to 0 for infinite distances. For infinite distances, it must be 0 because at infinite distances, psi becomes 0. Third point, the wave function must be continuous everywhere. Wave function must be continuous everywhere. That is, there is no sudden jumps in the probability density. No sudden jumps, continuous when moving through space. If a function has a discontinuity such as a sharp step upwards or downwards, this can be seen as limiting case of a very rapid change in the wave function. If there is potential step or potential well, then this can be seen there that there is very rapid change in the wave function. Such a rapid change would mean that the derivative of the function was very large, either a very large positive or negative number. In the limit of a step function, this would imply an infinite derivative. Since the momentum of the system is found using the momentum operator, which is a first order derivative, this would imply an infinite momentum, which is not possible in a physically realistic system. Such an infinite derivative would also violate condition 4. What is condition 4? All first order derivatives of the wave function must be continuous, following same reasoning as in 3. A continuous first derivative would imply an infinite second derivative. Again, clear it. All first order derivatives of the wave function must be continuous. A discontinuous first derivative would imply an infinite second derivative, and since the energy of the system is found using the second derivative, because we derive the energy or energy related with the second derivative, a discontinuous first derivative would imply an infinite energy, which again is not physically realistic. Okay. Now, having stated Bond's condition, however, we need to note that several systems commonly studied in quantum mechanics courses do violate one or more of them. For example, having stated Bond's condition, however, we need to note that several systems commonly studied in introductory quantum mechanics courses do violate one or more of them. It looks like that. For example, particle in a box. System is composed of a particle moving in a box with infinitely high sides represented by a potential function that is 0 in a limited area and infinite at the boundaries of this area. In such a system, the third condition, continuity of the wave function, is imposed to find a solution, but the solution so found violates the fourth condition, in that the derivative of the wave function is not continuous at the boundary of the box. Very important point is given here to understand it, because the boundaries are infinite. Okay. The particle in a box is clearly not a physically realistic system, because this is not a physically realistic system. However, since there is no physical mechanism which can generate an infinitely deep potential, despite that, the system is still useful as a model of some real life situations in which particles found in a very deep well, and of course the particle in a box provides a relatively painless way of introducing many of the concepts of quantum mechanics. So is useful even if it's not entirely realistic. There are many problems which are not realistic but useful according to physical point of view. So we understand it by two different approaches. You just understand these by reading well. Okay, thank you all of you. Thank you.